Welcome to your full moon in Aquarius yoga flow. We'll be moving through a 30-minute or so self-expressive yoga experience. Join me at the top of your mat with your 2 feet together. Bringing your feet together, just take a moment to close down the eyes, drop in. Taking some nourishing, cleansing breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose. Inhaling and exhaling. And allow the breath to fill your body and expand the low belly. Inhaling and filling the low belly with breath. Exhaling, contract the low belly, expelling the breath. Inhaling, expanding the low belly. Nice, deep, juicy, long breaths. Exhaling, contract, hug the navel in. And see if you can elongate the exhale as you deepen the inhale, breathing in and exhaling. Elongating the exhale. See if you can make the exhale significantly longer than your inhale as you breathe in. Exhaling. And continuing to allow the low belly to be the engine of your breath. Inhaling, expand. Exhaling, contract. Nourishing the body with life force, prana, breath. Beautiful. And continuing to breathe here with your eyes gently closed or soften your gaze. Bring your awareness to the bottom of your feet and feel all 4 corners of your feet firmly planted into the earth. Just taking a moment to pause, rooting in, and even lifting all 10 toes and then placing 1 toe on the earth at a time, starting with the pinky toes. Just seeing if you can articulate the toes there. Let's scan our awareness through the power of our mind. Aquarius rules the intellect. Aquarius is an air sign. It is cerebral and intellectual. We're engaging the mental faculty and Arjuna Chakra, the mental command center. So our mind is so powerful. Let us use the power of our awareness to trace our body from the bottom of our feet, becoming aware of the physical form. Bringing your awareness to the bottom of the feet, scanning to the top of the feet at the ankles. With the power of your awareness, concentrating to bring your awareness up, scanning your shins and your calves. And as you continue up the body, see if you can signal at the same time for your body to relax. So using the mind here, scanning up the knees, gently lifting up and out of the kneecaps. The back of the knees, the quads, relaxing the quads and the hamstrings. Noticing the hips and the ball and socket joint in the hips. Noticing all the complexity of the hip and the pelvic bowl. And relaxing the pelvic bowl. Relaxing the glutes. Lifting your awareness up into your belly. Relaxing the belly, the stomach, the abdomen. Relaxing the low back, the lumbar spine, bringing your awareness up into your rib cage, feeling a gratitude for your rib cage. Relaxing the diaphragm, the lungs as you continue to breathe in. Continuing to breathe as you scan your awareness up to your chest, the underarms, the upper back, the shoulders, perhaps feeling like a cascading waterfall coming down over your shoulders, melting away any tension. Just imagining that waterfall melting away tension, washing it away in the shoulders, and then scanning your awareness down both arms to the wrists, and then practicing your concentration through your Arjuna Chakra, your mental command center, by bringing your awareness to the palms of the hands, the single point of the palms of the hands, and expanding your awareness to all 10 fingertips. Now the awareness is on all 10 fingertips. And then bringing the awareness, contracting it again to the palms of the hands. And again, expanding your awareness to all 10 fingertips. Noticing here the power of your mind to both focus and concentrate on one single point, or two in this case, and all 10, so we can contract our awareness and expand our awareness through the power of our mind. Tracing your awareness back up your fingers, relaxing your arms and your neck, seeing if you can notice every hair on your head. Noticing the space above the head, the crown, the void space. Bringing the awareness back to the third eye, the forehead, the point between the eyebrows, and taking a moment just to notice the weather condition of the mind today. Since you've woken up, has the mind been fast and agitated, quickly jumping from thought to thought? Or perhaps the mind is slow, foggy, tamasic? Or perhaps your mind is clear, sattvic, present, peaceful. Without judgment, just noticing the mind fluctuates. And noticing your ability to perceive your thoughts. As you can perceive your thoughts, therefore you are not your thoughts, you are the awareness, the vast sky. And taking a moment just to acknowledge the weather patterns of the mind, how they fluctuate, are temporal, impermanent, fleeting, even unreal, illusory. Their nature is to change. And yet there is that constant, everlasting, eternal presence of awareness that is able to perceive the thoughts. That expanded state of awareness that we metaphorically compare to the sky. And allow your thoughts as you continue through this Aquarius full moon practice to pass without judgment, like clouds in the sky. And instead of getting caught up or identifying in your thoughts, see if you can stay connected to the sky, that observer energy, that observer state rather, the witness consciousness, the one who perceives. And taking a moment just to breathe in, engaging the breath again here, maybe even bringing in that victorious Ujjayi breath, deepening the inhale and the exhale, allowing the low belly to continue to be the engine of the breath, where we bring in now a slight constriction of the throat, ever so gentle, to create that sound of the ocean. And indeed, this even changes the quality of the breath itself. Let's do an experiment. Aquarius rules over science. So here we're going to use our yoga practice as a great experiment. So I want you to bring your clean hands to your nose here and just breathe normally and notice the quality of the breath here. Noticing the quality of the breath. Now bring in that Ujjayi breath with the low belly, but more so focusing the slight constriction of the breath, where we change the quality of the breath to be Ujjayi breath. And notice now with your hand how it changes the actual even quality of the breath. Wonderful. Let's continue to adopt that mad scientist, scientific outlook here, that intellectual outlook, so we can approach our yoga as an experiment. Wonderful. We're going to move through our self-expressive, unconventional, non-traditional yoga flow, because Aquarius is all of those things. So we're going to shake it up. If you've been practicing with me, we've been doing more of a traditional Surya Namaskar A and B. And now we're going to just move into that wild self-expression. Although Aquarius isn't necessarily wild, but freedom. Aquarius loves freedom. We're going to just free ourselves to experiment and self-express. So if at any time you want to express some unique quality here, make any sounds or movements, feel free. Here, let's move up, raising the arms up as the shoulders come down, exhaling as we bow forward. You can bend the knees as you gently lift and lengthen. The crown comes forward, and we're just going to fold here. Let's move the feet hips width apart, and then we're going to, like a bow and arrow, very Sagittarius here, place the right hand firmly on the ground, and then pull back and twist to open. You can bend the knees here, inhaling and exhaling down, placing the left hand firmly on the earth like a bow and arrow, drawing up and back. We're going to twist. I'm bending my left knee here while my right knee straightens, but you do what works for you here. Let's go again. Inhaling on the left side, opening, reaching up to the sky. Exhaling, the hand comes down. And again, inhaling up, I'm looking up to my hand, and exhaling down. Gorgeous. Let's just take a moment to pause here in our forward fold, stretching out the legs and the hamstrings, feeling free to express yourself here, perhaps sighing, making any noises, and perceiving this as an experiment, noticing the anatomy, the physiology, what's happening in the nervous system as we move through our practice with a scientific lens. Seeing our yoga practice as a spiritual technology. And inhaling and exhaling as you release tension that's accumulated, maybe in the sacrum. Noticing, perceiving, becoming aware as the observer. And perhaps even taking a little screenshot or time capsule of where you're at right now in your practice and where you are at the end of our practice. So you can let the brain be heavy in the head, shaking the head yes or no, even clasping the elbows here for more traction. Gorgeous. Gently lift and lengthen. And then we're going to press our hands down into the earth as we step back with our shoulders over our wrists, pausing here in our plank. And we're going to go into a Vashistasana. First, we're going to, or a side plank. First, we're going to experiment with isolating our sternum and upper body from our low body. So here, I'm going to keep my shoulders square over my wrists as I twist to one side, being careful and noticing if this is not accessible for you. Please just stay in your plank. And then coming through your plank again, and then I'm going to take the low half of my body, flipping my feet, as you can see, onto their edge, and I'm just seeing how I can actually twist the low half of my body, if it's safe for you, and keeping the upper half of the body still as I generate heat in my plank posture, just observing how that heat is starting to be generated and seeing if you can engage that gentle sense of detachment. And moving into the left-sided Vashistasana or side plank, taking a deep breath in and bringing the hand down and to the next side. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Let's do it again, and we'll stay for 2 breaths this time. And through the center, and to the other side. Great, staying here in our plank posture, generating heat, and then pressing back into our downward facing dog. Noticing how this inversion allows for the circulation in the body to shift, the lymphatic system, how it's affecting and impacting your lymphatic system, where the lymph nodes in the armpits are now extended, but the lymph nodes in the hips are being contracted. So effectively, as we move through our Surya Namaskar, or sun salutation, we're squeezing the lymph nodes and releasing them like a pump. Inhaling and exhaling here. We're going to lift the right leg and Bend the knee, opening the hip while keeping the shoulders square to the earth, relaxing the neck. Inhaling, bringing the leg back and bringing it through into a high lunge. Crescent lunge here, beautiful. The right knee is over the right ankle here. And my hips are forward. I'm relaxing my shoulders down. You can move the arms however you want. So perhaps opening the chest, doing whatever you want with the arms, feeling freedom. I'm going to bend and straighten my left knee, my back knee, and just pumping that there, noticing what's happening in the hip, evaluating, experimenting with this posture, noticing your balance, and then bringing your awareness to your third eye, mental command center, to aid you in your balance here. Beautiful. Let's take flight into our Warrior 3. Lifting off, balancing on the right foot. Wobbling is wonderful. Flying here. The arms can be back or forward. We're just allowing for a lot of freedom here as we balance on a single leg. And then we're going to open, and if you have a block, go ahead and grab it. We're going to open to our half moon pose. Beautiful. This is so good for the hip, I feel. Strengthening, opening onto this side plane. Is it the coronal plane? Maybe, I think it is. So that coronal plane here. And then stepping back from our half moon into Warrior 2 in your own time. Feeling free, operating in your own time here. In your Warrior 2 posture, the gaze comes over the middle finger, a soft drishti or focus. This is part of our technology, the science of yoga, to work with our focus and our gaze to soothe and calm the mind. And in meditation, it is that dhyana, that concentration, that single pointed focus that allows us to enter into a state of meditation. Breathing in deeply here. Beautiful. Leaning forward as you reverse your warrior. Taking a moment to pause as you reverse your warrior. I have my left arm lifted, but feel free to drop it down. And moving back, and let's move into our side angle. A nice long line. Beautiful. And looking up or down, the arm is coming into to increase this line here along the ear. And then I'm going to trace my hand horizontally across the front wall to open up even more through my side body and my psoas. Gorgeous. And again, back. And let's just move into a reverse triangle here. You can adjust your feet and come in. And here, let's move into a side angle posture. So here, my back foot is angled in, as you can see. My hip, I'm actually actively engaging my bandhas. So there's a root lock here, and throughout my yoga practice, I'm engaging my bandhas. It's part of our technology. So that is the root lock. It is like a Kegel, or if you have to urinate and stop really quickly, it is those muscles there. It's actually the anus as well, but comparable to a Kegel or pelvic floor contraction. But it's this Mula Bandha, or root lock here, that I want to continue to engage my coccyx. My tailbone has dropped it down, and I'm zippering up. I'm not splaying out here. So that's a really important piece of our technology. And I'm coming down into my beautiful side angle pose. I like to stay lifted on personally because I have a tight side body. But if you can reach all the way to the earth without splaying your hip back, without your booty really coming out of alignment, if your hips can be on the coronal plane, then feel free to come all the way down. Or if you have a block, go ahead and grab it. And then noticing the solar plexus. This is actually here when I stay lifted. I'm working more at the level of Manipura Chakra, the solar plexus, the navel, the fire element. So I'm actually working at the core, whereas if I come all the way down, it's a little bit different. But here I'm working at the level of the solar plexus, cultivating willpower and strength, especially if I don't use a prop. Then I'm really activating and engaging the core. I'm reaching the hands in oppositional direction. Is that an isometric contraction? You tell me. Beautiful. Coming up. And we're just going to bend the knee and cartwheel the hands back down to the earth, stepping back into our plank and coming into our Chaturanga Dandasana here. Beautiful. And if you want, coming all the way to the earth or staying in Chaturanga, elbows are hugging in and drawing back. My shoulders are rolling back as I gently lift and lengthen into a low cobra. Or you can come into an upward facing dog, protecting the low back, exhaling, rolling over the toes, and pressing down back into our downward facing dog, continuing with our Ujjayi breath. Here, practicing zipping up through the low belly. It's almost like concaving the low belly in some way, but here. And we're looking at the navel. The drishti, or the gaze, is actually the navel here, a soft focus. The brain is heavy in the head, the neck is relaxed. I'm pressing firmly through all 10 fingers as I press up and back. The glutes lift, the heels drop towards the earth, and my hamstrings lengthen, and I'm engaging that mula bandh. The genitals and anus are contracting and lifting gently up. I'm sublimating vital lower energies to my higher chakras, higher energy centers, at least to my Manipura at the level of the navel or solar plexus, if not higher, maybe even all the way up to my Arjuna Chakra. And lifting the left leg up and bending the hip. Coming through to our high lunge, crescent lunge. Beautiful. Lifting up and taking a moment, feeling freedom with the arms, self-expression, non-traditional, unconventional, and straightening and bending the back knee, and noticing how that affects my hip, my adductors, all the muscles that keep my leg attached there. And whenever you're ready, lifting up into our airplane or Superman, Warrior 3. Wobbling is wonderful. Falling is fabulous. And to focus, the secret is your drishti, your gaze. So noticing if you're looking all over the room, you will likely not be able to balance unless you're like a superhero. But if you focus your gaze at a single point with this yogic technology, you will find steadiness and balance, calming the mind. And again, maybe even swimming a little bit, feeling unconventional. Before we step back, we're going to actually come up again and open into our half moon pose. So, if you have a block, using it and finding your way into this beautiful posture on the coronal plane, stacking the hips, taking a few breaths here, caffeinating the legs. Beautiful. And coming back. Ooh, my left side. Noticing the difference between your right and left side. That's definitely part of our yogic science. Is really Hatha yoga, although we're doing Vinyasa, is Hatha, sun, moon. We're balancing the left and right side of our body, masculine and feminine energies. We have Ida Nadi on the left channel and Pingala Nadi on the right, and Sushumna in the middle. These are our three main nadis or channels. So on the left, feminine, lunar, and it's our Ida Nadi. And on the right is our masculine, emissive, solar side, Pingala. And we're uniting them in the middle, our core channel, Sushumna. Here in our Warrior 2, let us reverse our warrior. Taking a moment here, keeping lifted if that feels good for you. My back foot is actually parallel with the back of the mat. Yours might even be turned in even more than that. See what feels right for you. And the left knee is over the left ankle. And then I'm going to come forward into my side angle. And I like to stay up, again, because I like to work on really having an amazing alignment in my hips. Whereas if I were to come down, for me personally, I wouldn't be getting as much out of the posture. But feel into it. If you want to come into the full expression of the pose on the side, you're more than welcome to place your hand on the floor. Beautiful. And then the hand actually, the arm bicep is by the ear, where I create this one long line. Gorgeous. And then I can trace my fingertips along horizontally the wall while I open up the side body and the psoas even more as I breathe. Gorgeous. And coming back, reversing my warrior, straightening and reversing my triangle, and then coming into my side angle on the second side. Gorgeous. Here, staying in this observer state, breathing with awareness of the breath. The awareness and focus can always be on the breath. It is really our anchor point. You can look down if there's too much strain on the neck to look up. Feel free. Beautiful. A few more breaths here. And coming up and bending the knee to windmill down to the earth, stepping back into our plank posture, coming to our Chaturanga Dandasana, opening the heart, protecting the low back as we roll over the toes back to our downward facing dog. Breathing here and just noticing the effects of this Surya Namaskar, this creative American style of Vinyasa, where we just kind of have a free-for-all because it's fun and it feels good. Breathing deeply. And now we're going to look forward, bend our knees, press back, and then you can hop forward if that feels right for you. Looking forward is the secret there. Or step forward gently. And then we're going to come up through our chair, sitting down. Sitting in our chair pose, taking a few breaths. I should be able to see my toes, balancing, engaging my bandhas, and standing up. Sweeping the arms through the aura, and taking a moment just to pause and bask, repose in the after effect of this beautiful creative flow. Gorgeous. You're doing great. I've kind of lost track of the time here and having so much fun, but let us just move through one more sun salutation, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling up, exhaling down. Gently lift and lengthen. Exhaling, planting the hands, stepping through your plank, moving through your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling up, exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling, lift the right leg, coming in, placing the foot down, lifting up into our crescent lunge. Let's move again through our Warrior 3 just for a moment, and then come back down, opening to Warrior 2. Let's reverse our Warrior. And then we're going to actually move through and pivot on the back foot. Just notice the demi point of my back foot. It pivots and turns as I windmill my arms. And I'm coming into a twist on the other side into a prayer posture. And I'm going to exhale, opening again back into a reversed warrior. And then I'm coming through Warrior 2, windmilling the arms as I pivot on the back foot, the demi point of the back foot. And then again, twisting. Beautiful. You could open the arms here and pause for a moment. if that feels good, protecting the low back. And exhaling, let's do that one more time because it's fun. And exhaling, beautiful twist and rinsing out. Gorgeous. And reverse. And now from our warrior two, let's just lift off into our half moon. Beautiful. And come back through warrior two. And windmill the arms down to the ground. And Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, rolling the shoulders back. Exhaling over the toes, lift the hips. Inhaling, lifting the left foot, hugging the knee in, planting the foot down between the hands, lifting up into our crescent. And let's do a moment of warrior one as we step back into our warrior two. And on the other side, coming into our reversed warrior. And windmilling, demi-point on the back foot, pivoting, and twisting, opening, reversing, windmilling, pivoting on the back foot. Gorgeous. And one more time, opening, keeping the knee over the ankle the whole time. Fun. And staying here, opening the arms if that feels good for you. And you can even concave the belly or even kind of curve the spine if that feels good for you here. And then coming back through. And let's just come to the floor. Beautiful. This time you can plant your knees, chest, chin to the earth. And then I'm going to come forward. And exhale, let's come back into a child's pose. Beautiful. Continuing our deep Ujjayi breathing, using the low belly as the engine of the breath. Taking a few breaths in our beautiful child's pose. It's Leo season. The opposition of Aquarius is always Leo on the 180-degree axis or polarizing axis of the 360-degree zodiacal wheel. So Leo is all about, it rules over children. So here we are in our child's pose. And Leo, the lion, wants to play. In the playhouse, in the theater, be seen on stage, take up space, is unabashed, and the star. Interestingly, in Aquarius, the star in the tarot deck is for Aquarius, and the strength card is for Leo. Breathing here. And now we're just going to roll through the spine. So I'm coming into my up dog, and then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to come forward, and I'm going to tuck the chin and come back. So just here I'm articulating the spine, dropping the chin and dropping the hips. The chin and the neck is the last thing to come up. My elbows are facing back. So here I am in my upward facing dog. My chin is up. I tuck the chin towards the chest. I lift and press through the hands, rounding the upper back, articulating the vertebra. Here I'm in a cat or cow. That's a cat posture. And then rolling, stretching through the armpits. My hands are long, and then I'm coming back. And then I'm going to roll through the spine. I'm going to drop the hips towards the floor, the pubic bone towards the floor. As I roll up, chin comes last. Go ahead and give this a nice try. This is such a valuable spinal roll. Here, this is so valuable for our spine. You're only as young as your spine. So let's keep it agile and flexible. Doing some rolling up and down. Gorgeous. Now let's just come through and sit down as we come towards the end of our practice. Coming into a seated posture. Let's just do a little Badakanasana. Bringing the feet together. See if you can open the toes and see if you can even get the big toes on the earth. Just opening the feet. I'm not quite there, but see if you can spread your toes like a book. Gorgeous. And then you can bring your clean hands to your clean feet. And just butterflying the legs if that feels good for a moment. And sitting up straight. And and bowing forward. Taking a moment here to open the hips. Aquarius is the water bearer in the sky. The constellation of the Aquarius is personified and represented by the water bearer, the one who's bringing change, the one bringing big social change, revolution, the change maker. Can even be a destabilizing, radical energy, or even like it's very innovative. Aquarius rules over the future. So here with Aquarius, we're looking at our future, the future together. Let's visualize and envision a prosperous, happy, and whole future. Excuse me. Pardon me. I have a tickle in my throat. Gorgeous. Coming up, you can help support the knees to come forward. You shake them out if you like. And let's just open the legs long. Open the legs here and sit up straight. Beautiful. We're going to do a little breathing exercise. And this is from Kundalini Yoga. We're just going to exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Inhale through the center, exhale down. See how this feels. Hopefully it'll help calm your nervous system. Keep going. Keep up. Inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. It's a quick breath. Beautiful. Inhaling through the center. Release. And let's just bow forward for a moment here. Gently bowing forward in this wide-legged fold. Gorgeous. Taking a few breaths and coming up. And we're going to slowly make our way onto our backs. Beautiful. Rolling down vertebra by vertebra. And seeing if you can place the sacrum firmly on the ground, the sacred bone, the three fused vertebrae at the low back, while your feet are firmly on the earth. And just taking a moment to roll out your sacrum, rock around the clock, the back of your pelvis, massaging the back of the pelvic bowl, clockwise in a circle, and then reversing the other direction, and then rocking up and down, 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and then horizontally, 3 o'clock to like whatever o'clock, 8 o'clock-ish, and diagonally, see if you can go diagonal. Gorgeous. And now just releasing that. Let's just roll up and down the spine a few times, lifting the hips onto the shoulders, exhaling, the arms come with me. Inhaling, rolling up the spine, exhaling, rolling down the spine. Inhaling, rolling up, lifting the hips, exhaling, down. And again, inhaling, rolling up, and exhaling, rolling down. Beautiful. And let's just do a quick thread the needle. So bending the right foot, right knee rather, and opening the hip here, externally rotating, and then bending the left knee at a 90-degree angle. Threading your hands through the figure 4 that you've just made, and maybe clasping them on the back of the thigh. And you could even intentionally open the knee more, noticing the stretch where it's happening for you, probably in the glute, the right glute there, and just taking a few deep breaths into the tension, releasing, inhaling, and exhaling. Just taking a moment while you pause here to connect in with the Aquarian energy of this full moon and what lessons this Aquarius water bearer has for you? What is the medicine of this eccentric sign that wants us to experiment and innovate, to step in progressively to the future? And legs up the wall, bringing both legs up here. The ankles are over the hips, and I'm just flexing and pointing the toes and rolling the ankles out one direction and then the other before bending the left knee and coming into my figure 4 on the second side. Threading my hands through the keyhole there and clasping my fingers behind my thigh, or you could even do the shin if you need a deeper stretch there. And releasing, noticing tension or any stuck energy, and just breathing into it, signaling that it's okay to release. And releasing, legs up the wall. And we're just going to come into our final resting posture, Shavasana. Releasing like a starfish, the legs are apart. And the hands just come down by the hips. The palms are up. As I release into my final resting posture. Taking one last conscious breath in before we release the breath completely. Filling the body up with prana. And exhaling, let it go. Now just letting go of any conscious control over the breath. Breathing naturally as you allow all the received energies to harmoniously distribute throughout your entire being. And feeling a wave of relaxation washing over you from head to toe. Surrendering, allowing your body to be heavy, melting into the floor beneath you. Totally supported, releasing conscious effort, rest. As you continue to rest here, taking a moment to release even deeper. Surrendering any worries about the past or the future. Feeling safe, loved, deeply held in the present moment. And then releasing even that, and even allowing the mind to wander, daydreaming. bhurvasva tatsaviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo na prachodayata. Om Triambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukmiva vandanam mrityor mukshiyatmamritate. Om asatoma sarkamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityormamamritam gamaya. Om. Basking, reposing in the after effect of your beautiful yoga practice, taking your time. And whenever you're ready, wiggling your fingers and your toes, coming back slowly, 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 and stretching your arms overhead. Before, in your own time, rolling over into a fetal position on one side by cradling your bicep on your ear on your bicep, the knees hug in, and take a moment here in this transitional moment to pause and feel safe, open, maybe even full of wonder as you press your hands down to support yourself as you come up to your seated position. And when you're ready, bringing your hands to your heart, taking a moment just to connect into Anahata Chakra, meaning unstruck sound. It's the heart chakra, the energetic antenna in your microcosm that can connect you expansively to the universal Anahata of unconditional loving kindness and compassion. So seeing if you can attune your antenna of your Anahata Chakra to the cosmic Anahata. Love without object or attachment. And just sit in that space of unconditional loving kindness and compassion for a moment more. And opening up, what might that be like? Bringing the hands to the forehead, taking a moment to connect into your third eye, your mental command center, Arjuna Chakra. And bowing to seal in our practice, placing the third eye on the floor if that feels right for you, like a bookend to ceremonially close our practice. Beautiful. Just taking a moment to feel grateful to yourself for doing this and have a beautiful full moon in Aquarius.